Welcome back, Focus Learners. Today, we're diving straight into the absolute engine room of the insurance industry. We're putting two major property and casualty core platforms head-to-head, Guidewire InsuranceSuite and SpeedBuilder BindExpress Suite. If you want to know how modern insurance actually runs behind the scenes and what it means for your tech career, well, you're in exactly the right place.
Because every P&C insurer, at some point, has to face this massive, incredibly expensive question: which core system is going to run your policy administration, your billing, your claims? It's a phenomenally high-stakes decision. I mean, this is literally the heartbeat of a carrier's daily operations.
And this choice, it isn't just about picking out some off-the-shelf software. As this quote hits right on the head, the answer shapes absolutely everything downstream. It dictates how fast new products can actually hit the market, it impacts your rating engine integrations, and crucially for us, it determines how hard it's going to be to hire and retain the technical talent to keep the whole shebang running over, say, a 10-year horizon. So we're talking about real business agility and real-world career ecosystems here.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with the core system dilemma, then meet our two contenders, Guidewire InsuranceSuite and SpeedBuilder BindExpress. After that, we'll put them in a head-to-head matchup, figure out which platform fits best where, and finally look at the career and salary prospects for you.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the core system dilemma, choosing the foundation.
Moving right along to Section 2, let's meet Guidewire's InsuranceSuite, the enterprise titan.
So think of Guidewire as this highly customizable, super heavy-duty construction kit. It's designed specifically for massive insurers that really need deep configurability across complex, high-volume books of business. Just to give you a sense of that enterprise footprint, they serve over 300 P&C customers worldwide. That's a massive global reliance. And their Guidewire cloud platform, it's built natively on AWS, which gives these large carriers the serious, heavy-lifting elasticity they need to handle astronomical transaction volumes.
Now, what's really fascinating here is how Guidewire takes incredibly complex insurance operations and neatly divides them into these distinct modules, or centers. You've got Policy Center for things like modeling, quoting, and issuance. There's Claims Center, handling everything from that first notice of loss all the way through to settlement. You've got Billing Center for the money side, plus pricing and underwriting centers. And tying it all together is the Contact Manager, so you don't end up with duplicate customer data floating around. But here is the kicker. Configuring these centers is heavily developer-driven, primarily using a Java-derived language called Gosu.
Okay, let's shift gears to Section 3. Meet SpeedBuilder BindExpress, the nimble challenger.
Now, if Guidewire is that heavy-duty construction kit we just talked about, SpeedBuilder is more like a smart home solution. It's built for leaner, smaller carriers or managing general agents. These are places where the business owners want to be able to just flip the switches themselves, right? Without having to constantly put in an IT ticket. Their big central pitch is this configuration toolkit, which boasts more than 4,000 available settings. The whole idea is that your everyday business teams, underwriters, product managers, can use these thousands of settings to tweak rating logic, forms, and workflows directly. It is a completely different philosophy from Guidewire's developer-heavy approach.
SpeedBuilder also makes a pretty big deal out of what they call their always current architecture. The marketed capability here is that clients can adopt future platform updates without having to go back and retrofit a bunch of custom code. It's definitely an appealing claim to reduce upgrade headaches. Now, just to be totally objective here, unlike Guidewire, SpeedBuilder's internal technical docs aren't publicly available. So we are relying on their marketing materials for this specific capability rather than independently verifiable developer documentation.
So how do they actually compare? Section 4. The head-to-head matchup, developer versus business-led.
The first thing to realize is that these two platforms aren't actually fighting over the exact same slice of the pie. Guidewire targets mid-sized to large enterprise insurers, the folks dealing with complex, multi-line books of business. SpeedBuilder, on the other hand, is right at home with small to medium carriers and MGAs wanting lean, fast operations. So they're playing in very different arenas right out of the gate. And that difference in target audience fundamentally changes who holds the keys to product updates. With Guidewire, you're looking at developer-led configuration. If you want to make substantial changes to the system, you absolutely need trained engineers writing code in Gosu using Guidewire Studio. SpeedBuilder flips that to a business user-led configuration. Theoretically, this empowers your underwriters to jump in and adjust the rules directly, bypassing the IT backlog altogether.
Looking under the hood at their cloud architecture, Guidewire is built natively on AWS, and they offer highly verifiable, publicly documented technical depth. SpeedBuilder is also a web-based, cloud-hosted SaaS platform, but they keep their specific infrastructure provider and multi-tenancy models, how different customers share the servers, undisclosed in their public materials. Neither approach is inherently wrong, but if your organization requires strict, upfront data residency verification, you'll definitely need to ask SpeedBuilder for those details during a proof of concept.
Which brings us to Section 5. Which platform fits best? Matching needs to capabilities.
Let's break down the decision process, because as you've probably guessed, neither platform is objectively better in a vacuum. It's 100% about matching the tool to the company's specific scale. If you're a large, multi-line enterprise, Guidewire is going to be your likely winner because you need that deep configurability for complex products. But if you're a small carrier or an organization actively trying to minimize your day-to-day IT involvement, SpeedBuilder's Business User Toolkit makes it a fantastic fit. And of course, if your security team requires verified, publicly documented cloud architecture from day one, Guidewire's AWS Foundation gives it the edge. It's all about what the organization prioritizes.
All right, let's move to Section 6 and see how this builds into something that affects you directly: career and salary prospects, your stake in the game. So, up to this point, we focused heavily on what the businesses need. But let's talk about what this means for your tech career. There's a massive, stark contrast in the job markets here. Guidewire has this sprawling, mature global ecosystem. We're talking extensive training networks, formal certification paths, and incredibly high demand, especially across global system integrators based in India. SpeedBuilder, meanwhile, is a much smaller, US-focused niche market. As of right now, there just isn't a publicly visible Indian training or dedicated job network for it. So, if you're an IT professional or looking to switch careers, Guidewire simply offers a much larger, much more durable talent ecosystem for you to tap into.
And the crucial point really hits home when we look at the developer salary tiers in the Indian job market. For freshers, you're looking at around 4.5 to 6 lakhs per annum, but watch how fast that jumps. With just 3 to 5 years of experience, mid-level developers are pulling in 10 to 14 LPA. And if you hit that senior or architect level with 10 plus years, you could be looking at anywhere from 25 to 35 lakhs per annum. It's an incredibly lucrative skill set with a very, very clear progression path.
So, to summarize everything we've covered in today's explainer, finding the best platform really boils down to two perspectives. For the insurance carrier, it depends entirely on their organizational scale, transaction volume, and integration needs. But for you, the tech professional, it depends on your market demand, skill durability, and ultimate career goals. Which leaves us with this final thought for you to ponder. Knowing the massive difference in how these systems are built, who they serve, and the ecosystems that surround them, where will you invest your technical skills next? Think about it. Thank you so much for joining